Hello, fellow old schoolers. Echo Greg here with another webcam recorded match. This one is my second match from Xpoints 57. Again, Xpoints run through Discord and Teleria is a monthly pod-based event. You play 5 or 6 people in your pod, depending on how many sign up, and I had to cut to a top 16. So I'm 1-0 currently. Going up here in match 2. So here's my deck. It's a Eurekageddon deck. Green, white, red. With, again, you got big creatures, Eureka, Urnums, Sarahs, Shivens, Trikes, usual package, plus some personal incarnations, Spirit Links, Disenchant Swords, good white cards, Sylvans, and then the lands. My points here are a point each for the Geddons, 2 points for the Mox Emerald, and then 3 points each for the Lotus and the Soul Ring, for a total of 10. So let's go ahead and get into the match. I'm playing against Brandon. Brandon is on a Lion Dib Bolt deck. So I start off, play a Savannah into a Bird, so good opening for me. But Brandon takes the wise adage of always bolt the bird, and bolts my bird. Then passes back, drop a plains, and just pass back. Tundra into a Savannah Lions and a Javelier. So at this point, pretty sure that he's on Lion Devote, but it could be a white weenie with a bit of a splash. But I'm going to drop a Lotus into a Trike. I'll take a damage from my city, but I'll shoot his board down. And then I'm left with a 2/2 Trike, so I'll pass to Brandon. So he untaps, thinking about what to play here. He's got another Tundra. And then, yeah, he's tapping, disintegrating my Trike, so I'll shoot him for 1, and then Trike is removed from the game. So I'll untap, I'll draw, drop a Sylvan, no land drop for me, so that's going to slow me down a bit. I'll pass back to Brandon, he gets a Volcanic. Looking at my Sylvan options. I am going to pay for an extra card. Going to 15, drop a Plains, and then there's Eureka. So, probably a good sign for me. Brandon hasn't really been able to do anything. So Sarah. And it looks like that was all I was... Oh, no, so, yeah. I think we were just talking about it. That's what the delay was, about what could go in. So, lands... Talking about like what the Spirit Link's targeting, and again the way Eureka works is all the stuff comes in and then things resolve when you put things where they go. So so it looks like Eureka resolving. I've got a Shivan and a Sarah, and I put the Spirit Link on the Sarah. The Shivan's gonna get me more life, but the Shivan's also the juicier target if he's got a double bolts or some way of removing it. So I kind of want to split it. If he wants to take out the Sarah to stop me from gaining life, then he's just going to take a whole bunch of damage from the Shivan. So that's kind of why I did it that way. So I'm going to crack in. Brandon's tapping some mana. He's got a Psy Blast for the Sarah. So again, yeah, he's going to take that. It's going to stop me gaining from life. But I am going to pump the Shivan to deal 6, putting him down to 11, myself at 14. And then I just drop another Savannah and pass a turn. So lots of mana over there for Brandon, but nothing he can do with it. Passes back. Again, I'm going to crack in for another 6, put him down to 5, dropping me to 13 off the city. And I'll just play a Soul Ring out. Pass back. See if there's anything he can do here. He's got a chain. I assume he's chaining the Shivan and a bolt. Yeah, double bolt. So He is able to take care of my threats, but he's real low on life. So I'm going to draw and drop an Urnum. And he's got a dib. So the dib will at least block the Urnum for a turn. Yep, I come in, blocks it, has to, otherwise he takes 4, it goes to 1, the dib will kill him, so yeah, just the only option he had. Untap, draw again, swing for 4, putting him down to 1, and just passing a turn. Yep, he draws another land, really flooded by Brandon there, unfortunately, in that game. But I'm able to take game 1. So we'll go to sideboard, so against his deck. Definitely bringing in the additional Spirit Link and the 2 swords. Probably not bringing in the Disenchant. I didn't see a control magic. I'm assuming they're going to come in out of the side, but I do have 2 in the main, so that's probably okay to just keep in. And the Cop Red, not necessarily worth bringing in the burn. You know, it does help a little bit out with the burn, but the problem with Eureka is you have to keep, and with any combo deck, especially in old school, you really have to not dilute the core of the deck when you're sideboarding. Otherwise, sure, you draw your hate cards, but you just can't win the game because you don't have any threats or anything to do. So can't really take out at many of the creatures. Really just have to be very careful about what I boarded and make sure that I can still do my primary game plan, which is to get big fat stuff into play and beat opponents' face with it. So looks like I'm done sideboarding. I'm shuffling up. Brandon looks like he's still bringing stuff in, debating what to take out. Assume he will be on the play here. He gets the choice as I won game 1, and as the aggressive deck, that's definitely what he wants to be doing. Also, don't want to let the Eureka deck really get to 4 mana. That's when the bad stuff happens. So going first and trying to get me as low as possible before I can do that is definitely the way to go. So Brandon's looks like he's finished sideboarding up here. He's shuffling up, so we'll get game 2 underway in just a second. Okay, so shuffling's done. I am keeping mine, but it looks like Brandon is mulliganing in his hand. Didn't like what he had, so shipping it back. Let's see if a 6-hand will do the trick for him. Alright, he's dialed his hand up. Deciding whether he wants to keep it and what to put on the bottom. So he's keeping this one. He'll stay at 6. Bottom's that. And off we go. Game 2. He's got a Plains and a Lions. Pretty good turn 1 for the Lion Dib Bolt deck. Puts the early pressure on. Strip Mine Lotus. This could be bad. Just an Urnum though. Not Eureka, unfortunately. So, but again, that is a good deterrent for that Lion. Brandon thinking about what to do here. Top of a plateau, so that's going to make the decision to block a little risky. And probably just going to let it come in. I don't want him to bolt or chain my Urnum and trade it for just the Lions, especially because think if I remember correctly, I kind of went all in on the Urnum, for turn 1 Urnum here, and may not have much of a plan if that goes away. So I am coming in with it though. No blocks from Brandon. He'll drop to 16, and then I will pass a turn. So I do have an active strip mine. Could have tried to strip him off a red, but I think I really just I'm trying to build up some mana here to be able to play other cards. So I don't want to fall back. I probably don't. From what I remember, I did not have a whole lot of lands in hand. And there's a Chaos Orb, which probably gonna be real bad for me. He cracks in for 4. That's gonna drop me to 14. And then Brandon is thinking if he wants to do anything in second main, or just activate the orb, or just pass back. I do have potential disenchant mana up, so I think that's what he's thinking here. So he just passes back. You don't want to activate the orb and have it be disenchanted. Yeah, so I swing in, he activates the orb. I do have the disenchant, so I'll drop to 13. But my Urnum lives and drops him down to 12. So pretty close one here. But again, I'm missing land drops. That's problematic. There's a factory, which is, you know, gonna get tough. One good thing though is I don't have any force in play, so the Urnum's Forest Walk is really neutralized right here. So if I do need to go on the defensive and just sit back and block, it's not like he can chip in for 2 damage every turn through a Forest Walker. So that's one good thing about being a little tight on the mana here. So Brandon will crack in for 5, dropping me to 8, pumping the order up. So getting real close. Another land, that's good. And deciding whether I want to attack. If I do attack, that's going to put me, within bolt range. So he's able to swing in for at least 6. So I think I just stay back on the defense. Pass the turn to Brandon, he untaps. Plays another plateau. I'm trying to figure out what he wants to do here. Again, still the danger of him having a bolt. Especially with that order, right? If he attacks with the order, I block with the Urnum, he gives the order first strike, and then bolts the Urnum, I don't even get to trade. So, bit of a precarious position here, but I'm also real low on life, so if he attacks with everything, I am going to have to do some blocking, even if it means losing the Urnum. Again, I have 5 cards in hand, so chances are I'm trying to draw up to a 4th mana, particularly a green source, because I only have 1 green source to be able to cast that Eureka, and then drop some beefy guys down, and then hopefully take over the game. But I am very low on life. Again, 8's not super low, but 8's pretty low when you can have a bolt or 2 sitting in hand. So Brandon, trying to figure out what he wants to do here as far as combat goes. Checking his hand. Doesn't want to make a miss by me, and I'm up 1-0, so he's got to play real tight here. Otherwise, I can steal the match. Yeah, so he decides to come in. I am going to block, I assume, the Lions. Again, with webcam, it's kind of hard to see what you're blocking. Brandon thinking whether he wants to pump. and what he's planning on doing here. So yeah, he's gonna pump for 4 to put me at 4, and not worried about dealing with the taking the Urnum out. I think if he does have a bolt, probably saving it for my face. So passes turn to me. I draw not a land, unfortunately, so I pass back. Tundra from Brandon. And thinking about how he wants to attack you. So he does have the bolt. The obvious thing to do is to animate the factory, come in, hope to get in, one unblocked creature, and get through. But instead he decides to play a Javelier, which, again, if he's got the bolt, that's the game. I need to be able to deal with it on my turn, which is going to be very difficult. Because I also have a city. So if I tap the city, that puts me in bolt range. So I'm really up against it here as far as how I'm going to get out of this. So there's a Soul Ring. Yeah. Another Urnum. That's going to help with the blocking, but he does have the bolt. So at this point, again, the Javelier and a bolt was 4 damage, so the city became less important. And I had to do something to keep myself alive. So I needed to put another threat out there, another blocker. So at that point, tapping the city didn't do anything. I was dead either way if he had a bolt. So went for it. He had the bolt, so Brandon picks up game 2. Another real close one there. But that's the great / scary thing about bolts and other burn type spells is, you're not at 20 life. Got to worry about those burns just coming, not necessarily out of nowhere, but coming out and taking you out when you think you might have stabilized. So you got to keep that in mind as you're playing and make sure that you minimize the damage you're taking throughout the game to keep yourself from getting into that low of a state. So no sideboard changes for me. Looks like Brandon's looking through to see if he wants to change anything. But shuffling up. Looks like I mulliganed. Didn't like my hand. I will be on the play here as I lost game 2. So that's a good place to be going into game 3. Would have been better if I had won game 2 and finished the match, but didn't. So being on the play is the next best thing. And I've got a mulligan again. So if I remember here, I just back-to-back hands with no mana whatsoever. So I'm mulling down to 5, which is talked about real problematic not having the bulk of the cards in hands for the Eureka deck because the Eureka itself takes up a card slot, so the less cards you have, the less stuff you can put down. So yep, I'm good with that one. I put 2 on the bottom and I just chop a forest and pass back. So there's a plateau from Brandon into a Javelier. So I draw, play a Taiga, play a Sylvan. So that'll help. Again, I don't want to spend too much life on the Sylvan, but it will give me the card selection, which is great for getting out of a mulligan. If there's lands and stuff I need to hit or other spells, I can pick what I want. There's a second Javelier. So not terribly effective against my deck, but good in slowing things down with regards to having a Birds of Paradise or something, right? I like the birds to help ramp into the Eureka and the fatties, and being able to shoot them down certainly does help his gameplay. So I'm going to pay an extra 4 here to draw an extra card, and I'm going to drop a forest and a bird. If he kills the bird, then I've saved myself 1, potentially 2 damage, 1 from the attack this turn, and then the counter's removed, so he can't kind of get in the situation we were in game 2, where he's got potentially 4 damage. And if he doesn't, then I can potentially do some stuff. So he does a strips my Taiga away, shoots down my bird, then activates the factory and comes in for 3. which drops me to 12. I untap, look at the library, take just one, because I'm getting a little low here, and play a Plains. So, Brandon's got 4 damage on board here, so I am on a, at least, or at the very best, a 3-turn clock. So he's untapped, drop in a Tundra, and deciding if he wants to play anything or just attack with that factory. Looks like he's animating the factory and coming in for 4. I do have the swords, and I'm going to hit that factory, put him up to 22, but I'll only take 2, drop into 10. So he passes, I take my turn, library, just 1 card. There's 4 mana, but nothing to do with it, unfortunately. So I only have 2 cards in hand. Again, that mulling to 5 really killed me in this game 3 here. Probably have a hand of 6 drops, but we'll see. Still plenty of time to be able to draw out of it. So Plains from Brandon, back up to 3 mana, swinging for 2, dropping me to 8. And he passes back. So I activate library, take just a 1, play a Taiga. I'm getting close, 1 land away from 6, potentially stabilizing, but again down to 8. So there's a City of Brass, and it's 8, but it's, you know, really 7 because he's always got that javelin throw at me. So he swings in, puts me down to 6 or 5. So I'm in double bolt range. Or Side Blast and Javelinier range. But I got a Trike, so that's at least going to allow me to shoot both his guys and take that Javelinier token out of the play. And I pass the turn. So it doesn't look like Brandon has the burn. He is going to disenchant my Trike, so I'm going to shoot him for 1, dropping him to 21. But there's some hope here for me now. I'm low on life, but I have all the mana I could need. I have 6. I do need to find another red if I have a Shivan. But there's another Trike, so that's good. Trikes are pretty good against Brandon's deck. The only thing it doesn't take out is the dibs. So, but it does damage. And Sares. It doesn't take out a Sares. That's going to be a huge problem. So he does take a damage from his city, going to 20. I crack in for 4. I'd happily take a trade there, but none's coming. But I did find a second red source, and there's a Shivan, and that is more than a match for blocking a Sarah, as is. But it looks like he's got a blue blast, so oof. Bad times for me. So he swings in, puts me to 2, and then he's got the bolt. And then he shows me his hand, Spirit Link, Swords, and Disintegrate. So he had all the answers. Everything he needed to take that match down. So again, real close match. Went to game 3. Unfortunately, the mulligan to 5 really hurt me there. But it looked like I had stabilized, but kind of a false hope there once Brandon showed me his hand. So Brandon takes that one down 2-1. That makes me 1-1 in this event, but still in a good place. Still got several matches to go, and if I do well in those, win them out, there's a good chance that I'll be able to advance. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.